All the way with Alloway here with Doremus, writer and director of the Sundance film Breathe In. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm awesome. So no one has seen it except for everyone at Sundance, so tell us a little bit about Breathe In and what it's about.
Breathe In is about an emotional affair between an older man and a younger woman. It's a very simple story, but it's a very complex, tonal sort of piece, a very restrained sort of different thing that I was trying to do.
Yeah, and at the talkback you said something that I definitely think was a clear what the film is about, and you said it's about a man who's a little bit too young and a girl who's a little bit too old, and they meet somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
So where did the seed of this story kind of start?
Well, it started from wanting to work with Felicity again, and the musical aspect of it. Really, Dustin O'Halloran, who's an amazing composer, I really wanted to have him be a character in the film, essentially. So it's kind of like an opera almost in a way, very musical. So it started from those two, and then the story kind of expanded from that.
So you've worked with Felicity before, and did you write, with Guy in mind and obviously with her in mind? So how did the cast kind of build, and did the characters evolve once you had the actors there with you?
Yeah, the characters evolved a lot because the actors brought so much to the process, and there's so much improvisation that we do. So Felicity was first, and then Guy was second. Met with a lot of different actors for the part, but after meeting with him for about 10 minutes, I just knew I really wanted him. So it was just great to work with him.
So you were saying with the guy that you worked with your writer, what was his name again?
Ben York-Jones.
Ben York-Jones, yes. I knew his name was Ben. So you talked about how, and this, I heard it and I was like, this is an actor's dream, how even there's in the silence, and there is a lot of silence in the film, that you write the subtext. So is this something you've always done, or specifically for this film you decided you needed to do that?
Yeah, I just feel like too many scripts focus on the text, so our script focuses on the subtext, and there's backstory and exposition and plot stuff in there to kind of drive the scene and emotional beats and things like that, but for the most part, I'm trying to focus on what's happening in the subversive elements of the film.
And so music is a whole other character in the film, which I totally love that. Do you specifically have certain musicians that have influenced your life? Like you would say for these characters, their love song is, this classical piano. Mine is Moon River. So do you have like certain songs that you kind of pull at your heart that you relate to certain times in your life? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, different bands and things I was into, but I mean, this movie in particular, Dustin O'Halloran was a huge inspiration for it, and he was involved in the process really early on, even when we were writing the outline. So he was a huge integral part, or else it wouldn't have functioned the way it did. Yeah.
Also, so there are moments of silence that I think you do a really good job, and you did like crazy in capturing the timidness and the nerves that come along with like being in love. And I love that just when you touch someone's hand, that's so full of emotion. So are these the kind of things that you want to explore in all of your films? Where did this come from, this naivety within love?
Well, I think I'm still naive in it in a way, and still learning a lot in my life, and I think the movies are exploring that, and each movie I make hopefully just gets a little more mature and a little more realized.
So I have to ask, so you wrote, the film, and you're the director, so it's a lot of work, and I'm stealing this question from Cameron Crowe. He asked Judd Apatow what his writing nest was, like where he wrote. Is there a specific way you write, or a place you have to write, or like a beverage you have to have at hand?
Well, Ben York-Jones, who is an incredible writer. We usually worked out of an office actually together, but he does. I usually do the first sort of 15 pages generally of what the story is, a sketch of who the characters might be, and then we start working together. And then the third leg of the process is just mainly him doing drafts, and we're getting notes, and he's doing draft after draft after draft. So he does that from his space in Corona Del Mar in Orange County. So I'd say the movie really sort of, a lot of it was written down in Orange County, where we're both from.
Okay. And you're only 29. You said that the other night, and I was like, what? It's amazing how far you've come in your career. So, our website is focused on young screenwriters, and I think we all want to know, like, where did it start? What's the path that you've taken to get where you are? What's your training like? Where did you study? movie?
Well, I grew up in the improv comedy world. My mother was a founding member of the Groundlings in Los Angeles, which is a great improvisational and sketch comedy group. And I started in that, and it was kind of in my blood. And then I started directing plays in high school, and then Ben York Jones and I made a movie together. Oh God, like Romeo and Juliet, and wrote a couple and different things like that. I mean, they were terrible, but I started to really get the bug for directing, and then we made our first short film together when we were 17 years old, and then I went to the American Film Institute and learned the more solid, structured side of filmmaking, and then have just been experimenting with this new form of filmmaking ever since.
That's fantastic. So, what's up next for you? I'm sure you get asked this question a lot, but not only what are the projects you have lined up, but your body of work, there is growth to it from exploring. In Like Crazy, they're teens, and then you've got a teen with a married man. So, are you going to do an Amour next? Like, is that the next step? But what where do you want to evolve to? Like, do you have anything in mind?
A couple of things, but nothing too solid at this point. I think just kind of taking a break and letting this movie go, and then regrouping and just trying to reflect on what I'm interested in.
Well, thank you so much. I know you've had a long day. Doremus, director and writer of Breathe In at Sundance 2013.